Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact Meteorologist Michael Behrens alongside Jay Plyburn.
Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday.
Beautiful Wednesday out there.
Well, is it beautiful? It depends on how cold you like it. It's different today. It certainly had me bundling up, busted out the three-piece suit today just because it was that much colder.
Just because it was that much cold. I mean, you and I, we have history together. We worked in Michigan for a while, and you're saying this is cold already.
Well, I mean, it's all relative, I guess. Compared to Michigan, it's probably not too cold, but compared to the weather we've had the past few days, it's chilly out there this morning.
We have been so spoiled this fall for weather. I mean,
true.
Just 70s, 80s even, record highs. It's hard to believe this is where we should be.
But pushing into the middle of November now, so I guess the cold weather is kind of normal.
Yeah, we're getting into normal season. I mean, we really should be getting more below freezing days this time of the year. Highs should only be in the 50s, and that's kind of where we'll be at this afternoon, where we were at yesterday too.
Well, I'm not going to complain about any of the weather we've had recently, but it did feel more like this season this morning.
Yeah, absolutely felt like this season. You needed, like you said, three-piece suit, extra layer. I got away with just the jacket, but I was coming in when the sun was already up. It was dark and early
That's
for you.
true. Yeah, coming in at 2 this morning was quite chilly out there.
Yeah, absolutely. But
long underwear forecast, you might say.
Yeah.
Or three-piece suit.
We'll work on that graphic. We'll just add an extra length to the underwear every time it gets a little bit colder outside.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, good news is, though, it is warming up outside. Here's the view outside from the 10 TV tower camera as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures are already into the 40s. We'll continue to warm up from there. Again, those 40s this morning turning into 50s by the afternoon. The winds out there, they're going to be a contributing factor to help bring up the temperatures. We're wind seen coming in from the more southerly direction, at least starting to turn to more of a southerly direction as we head into the afternoon. That will help to bring increased warmth into the region, though it will be a little bit breezy at times, so you might see a slight wind chill, especially early in the afternoon. But when we get those southeasterly flows, we will start to push warmer air in, and this is all coming ahead of our next chance for rain. So again, temperatures on the rise. That'll be some good news here over the next several hours. In fact, this afternoon, we're going to get back up to about where we should be for this time of the year. If not a degree or two above that, we'll be in the upper 50s through the afternoon. That'll be before cloud cover really starts to go on the rise. Those clouds increasing across the region through the afternoon hours ahead of, again, our next chance for rain, which is probably going to get here not long after midnight as we head into your Thursday. That is going to push temperatures down, at least temporarily. We go from 58 today back down to 52 as we head into your Thursday. We don't stay down for long, though. We get right back up upper 50s Friday and Saturday. It's going to feel about what it should for this time of the year for those football games. Again, maybe a few degrees warmer, average high 53. We'll be back in the 60s, though, by the back half of the weekend. We just can't keep the cold air out of the region for, well, very long, because it comes in and it just immediately goes away. Here's a look back at the rain chances. Again, highest rain chance in our forecast comes tomorrow. That could start as early as, again, not long after midnight for parts of central Ohio. But the good news is we are back to dry weather by Friday and Saturday. We do see small rain chances come in starting on Sunday, lasting into next week. But I think the major one we're watching is for Thursday. That's why we do have a 10 weather impact day in place for the first half of the day on Thursday from about midnight till 9 a.m. We're watching for those wind gusts that could go as high as about 30 miles per hour. Rainfall moderate to heavy at times, about 3/4 to 1.25 inches by the time it's all said and done. Can't totally rule out that rumble of thunder, but it's just not going to be the main focus here. We're not into warm, unstable enough air to really get active thunderstorms this time of the year. We got to get an exceptional system through here to get that kind of weather in the region. As far as the afternoon goes, again, cloud cover will be on the rise. That's ahead of the rain that was back out toward the west. That system marching its way towards central Ohio. Hour by hour forecast shows us turning mostly cloudy by the evening commute tonight as we get past sundown toward about midnight tonight. Out toward the west, rain starts to make its way into Ohio, gets close to Columbus by the time we head toward about midnight. You can see those western counties probably out toward Springfield, Dayton could see that heavier rain even a little bit before midnight. It's going to be working its way in through the evening. Those rain showers continue into the early a.m. Thursday. The morning commute out there, it's going to be on the edge. The latest data in here showing some of the heavier bands making its way out of Columbus by 6 6 a.m., but this gets delayed even just a little bit. We're going to be talking heavy rainfall during the morning commute for Thursday. Part of the reason we have that impact day in place for tomorrow. As we continue on into Thursday morning, good news is if you're a later commuter, we will start to see drier and drier air work its way in. We're not totally dry by lunch, but I think the heavy, consistent rainfall is starting to push out. Kind of remember what we had this past weekend where we started very heavy, very persistent rainfall, and then it turned more scattered as we got into the afternoon. Kind of the same picture here. Thursday, not dry. Keep the rain gear with you, keep the umbrellas with you, but not persistent enough to keep the impact day in place through the evening commute. Scattered moderate showers across the region, maybe a rumble of thunder through Thursday afternoon and continuing into Thursday evening before what remains of the rain starts to dry out as we head into Friday. Can't totally rule out a stray sprinkle that lingers with the cloud cover into Friday, but I think those will be few and far between. Just kind of a bit of a cloudy way to end the week before we start to see some of that clear back up as we head deeper toward the weekend. Here's a look at the expected rainfall out there on Thursday into Friday. Again, what we were telling you earlier, about 3/4 to 1.25 inches across central Ohio. This is going to be beneficial rainfall, good rainfall that we do still need because it has been exceptionally dry across the region. Keep in mind those drought conditions out there. They have been persistent across the region as well. That data going to load in here in just a moment. Last week, the drought conditions didn't really change as we looked toward this week. There it is. We see that drought out there still extreme to exceptional across southeastern portions of the state last week. That didn't budge this week, although we will get an update to that as we head through the day tomorrow. It won't include the new rainfall that is going to fall, but we should see improvement to these conditions from the rain that we had over the weekend, and this rain going to only help further improve that as we head toward next week. Here's your 10 weather impact 7-day forecast. We are looking at, again, cool temperatures that were out there this morning. We had that frost early, but now that that's gone, we should be done with that frost threat as we head toward tomorrow. That's your 10 weather impact day in place across the region, again, for the rain and the wind. The timing for that, especially into the morning, 4 to 9 for the heaviest rain bands. Use caution out there on the roads. We had several accidents the last time we had that rain push through during the morning commute. Would not be surprised to see a few of those pop up again as we head toward Thursday. If we're heading toward Friday, we should start to clear things out by Friday night. That means you might be able to catch the full moon out there on Friday. Beaver moon going to be in place across the region, something to keep an eye out for as well. Heading beyond that into next week, temperatures, they just go back on the rise. Like we were saying, we can't keep the cold weather here for long. The jet stream just not allowing it. The weather pattern shifts once again by early next week, and we are back into warm air. Keep in mind, we should be in the low 50s this time of the year. We are expecting that high to be up near 65. So that is well above where we should be for this time of the year. That pattern just keeps on repeating itself, Jay. So long underwear, don't need it for long.
No need it for long. And it's good to see it's not a total washout tomorrow. It's just rain in the early part of the day and then scattered, like you said, in the afternoon. And then it kind of dries out and looks pretty good for the weekend.
Yeah, not looking bad for the weekend. Drying out, that's where we want the dry weather to get out and enjoy. I mean, who cares if it rains? We have to go to work, right?
Yeah, and people are quick to complain about the rain. But as you mentioned, we've needed the rain.
Yeah.
There's kind of a deficit here.
Yeah, absolutely. We have been below where we need to be with the rainfall. And it's not just been us. Below rainfall. It's about the whole country.
Yeah, at least it's just rain. It's not freezing rain. That's a whole different story.
That's a whole different story. We don't want to talk about winter weather yet.
Not yet.
But we do want to talk about some of that dry weather out there. What you're looking at right now is the remains of a town called Summerfield that was in Pennsylvania. And that's a bridge that used to run through it. How crazy is that?
Wow.
Looks like you're in ancient Rome or something.
Some beautiful images out here.
Yeah, that's normally 50 feet below water, but due to the drought, those waters have dropped to historic lows.
Holy cow.
Now making that bridge absolutely visible out there. That town settled, Jay, 1818. Back in the day.
1818. That goes back.
That's been a while.
Did you fly the drone out there, or did you find this video?
I found this video. This is from our CBS News partners, KDKA, in Pittsburgh. But that is just wild looking video. It looks like an ancient discovery out there.
That's what I was just thinking, yeah.
That bridge actually, believe it or not, part of the old national road. First highway built entirely of federal funds, and then you just flooded over anyways.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously lots of incredible history in the state of Pennsylvania, but that's my first look at the River Lake there.
Just absolutely wild. That bridge actually christened by President James Monroe and his entire cabinet. That bridge flooded, like we said, again, over 100 years ago in the 1930s to help mitigate flooding in the region. They built the dam there, turned it into a reservoir. And now, again, it's just back out there, but it's been a while.
Really interesting.
Really interesting. Speaking of which, here's a little bit about Jacob Miller, a curator for the Historical Society of Somerset County, was able to dig up about that forgotten bridge.
The name of the bridge was Great Crossings Bridge. Now, that name comes from George Washington's reference to the area during certain marches along Braddock's Road, and prior to that, that was known as the Great Crossings.
Oh, absolutely fascinating there.
Really interesting stuff.
You got to wonder how much stuff is just buried in plain sight. We don't even know it's there.
Oh, yeah. Go digging around out there, find out.
Go digging around. But like we said, it's only visible because of the drought, and we really need as much rain as we can get.
We got to get the rain.
Got to get the rain. That's where our eyes turn back toward the tropics, Jay. So we could be seeing a little bit more in the way of rainfall coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. We're watching that carefully out there. Here's the latest potential tropical system to develop. This one likely to become a named storm here in the next couple of days. You can see those red outlines there. That's because National Hurricane Center has highlighted this region, 90% chance of development. You get that high, you're going to get something tropical to form. So we're just waiting for the name to come down. And then, of course, it's a matter of seeing where this goes as it works its way up toward the Gulf. Of course, it could bring beneficial moisture into the southern U.S., hopefully without the impacts of becoming a major storm. That's what we don't want to see. We want to see the rain and the moisture when we need it, but we don't want the severe weather or the hurricanes. Across the country, we're seeing kind of a mix of beneficial moisture coming down out there. Here's that big system we're watching heading toward us from Minneapolis all the way down to the Gulf. That's going to be pushing again our way in the next 24 hours. Then we have another system out in the Pacific Northwest. They've been dealing with fires and dry weather too, so they definitely need some rain out there. We're seeing that rain from Portland all the way down into Northern California, and some snow falling across eastern portions of Oregon and Washington. Feet of snow fell last week in Denver. We're getting in that time of the year where we finally start to see some of those winter systems come together. And again, like we've been saying, it's not just us that have been dealing with the drought that needs the rain. This is the country. Everything that you see with a color that's not just the map color, that is some form of drought or exceptionally dry weather in place. Most of the country with moderate or above drought conditions. That yellow is on the verge of drought, so we need the rain as much as we can get it, just hopefully not too much at one time. What we are looking at when it comes to the storms that are pushing their way across the country today, thankfully, not much in the way of severe weather. Could see a few isolated severe storms across the deep south. Could also see some heavy rainfall across the deep south. Moisture that we do need, you would have to watch this area down here in Louisiana into Mississippi, possibly over to Alabama, maybe a little bit of flooding down in that part of the country as the system moves through. We'll track that hour by hour. Again, this system works its way across the country. Big surge of moisture heading toward Ohio. We told you about that a little bit ago. Winter system continues on up into portions of Idaho, Washington, and Oregon. Working our way toward tomorrow. Rain pushes into Mississippi, River Valley, Ohio River Valley, comes into Michigan, all the way down to Atlanta, works its way off to the East Coast. That system up in the Northwest starts to break up a little bit. We still see some snow, but not quite as heavy as what we're seeing out there today. We will watch, of course, those systems as they develop across the country, Jay.
Keeping an eye not only on Central Ohio, but the world as a whole.
World of weather never stops.
World of weather never stops.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Absolutely. I mean, we do our best here, and the world of weather never stops, but digital show, it's got to stop at some point, and I think we're reaching the end. We'll see you back here again tomorrow.